crafty friends. In this video I am going to create a shaker card called the Penguin Shaker from Pretty Pink Posh, but I'm finally going to explain the significance of the penguin tattoo and why I have penguins in my channel. You'll see them kind of like Easter eggs are randomly placed throughout the thumbnails, and I have a huge obsession with penguins. I have one here and then one on the back of my neck that's different. So anyways, I'm Catholic, and the church that I grew up in when I was in about 8th grade, they didn't have a lector for Mass one day, and so our person who keeps it all organized asked if anyone wanted to do the readings. So I just, yeah, I'll do it. 8th grade, right? Reading in front of the whole congregation. Yeah, I had nerves of steel back then and still kind of do. But anyways, so because of that, I guess I did a decent job. So they kept me as a lector from 8th grade to about my mid-20s. And then I had to quit doing it because college kind of got in my way, and I moved away from my house for college, well, part of my college career, and so I just couldn't do it anymore. So anyway, one of the readings that I was reading to the congregation were mentioning animals in the desert, and instead of saying pigeons in the desert, I said penguins in the desert, and the whole congregation, including my priest, was just chuckling or laughing the fact that I said penguins, and I had zero idea that I said that. In fact, when I rehearsed my readings on my own, I was even saying penguins, and to this day, y'all, I get pigeons and penguins mixed up so easily. It's embarrassing for someone who's 39, almost 40. So it is just something that it's my thing, and I can't get over it. But anyways, so that was probably in my early 20s when I did that. And here I am 20 years later, and I am still known at that church as the Penguin Girl. People still think about that and how it made them laugh and it made their day. And in fact, when I came to visit my parents a couple of years ago, one of the guys that sat in front of us at church, I guess was talking to my parents, like, is the Penguin Girl gonna visit us soon? And she was like, yeah. So they knew that we were coming to church like that weekend or whatever. So he decorated my pew with penguin stuff, and you know, it's cute, and I can take a joke and I can be made fun of pretty easily, and I enjoy it. I love being picked on. It's fun because I give it right back. And so yeah, I am forever remembered as the Penguin Girl. And so I ran with it, and I said, you know what, this is gonna be my cool way to have a connection with, or as a connection or a reminder of my faith and of God. So, so every time I look at the penguin, I think of my faith and how much I love our Lord Savior. But anyways, so that is why I have penguins throughout my channel, but that is the story behind the penguin, and so that's why you'll see the penguins throughout my channel. It's just my fun way of reminding of my connection with God. So anyway, we're gonna make a shaker card. Now that you guys know that, we're gonna go ahead and make a shaker card called the Penguin Shaker from Pretty Pink Posh. I brought in some cardstock that we're gonna do. So we're gonna do Mint from Spellbinders. Oh gosh, I can't remember this. This is not Spellbinders. This is Concorded Ninth. I'll have to look to see what the name of this one is. I think it's Clementine. No, it's Creamsicle. Yeah, it's Creamsicle. And you guys know me, I love Spellbinders cardstock, but their orange is a little bit too orange for me for what I want to do in this card. So I went ahead and pulled Concorded Ninth. Plus I need to use their stuff up because I have a lot of it too, because I was obsessed with Concorded Ninth, and I still am, but I've really grown to love Spellbinders. You could tell there's this, it's just a lot smoother. This Concorded Ninth kind of reminds me of construction paper, that feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but this is just a lot smoother. I had no problem using my Cricut to cut this out. With Concorded Ninth for detail cutting, I've had struggles with that, and it also could have been my blade, so there's that. But and then I just need regular cardstock, and then I'm also going to be using this black shiny glitter cardstock. There's no texture to it. It just has like a shimmer to it. I absolutely love it. I use a lot on my Christmas cards. So that is what we're going to do. Oh, and also we're going to be using for the shakers. This is the first time I bought their shaker beads for the Concord and Ninth, or I'm sorry, for the Pretty Pink Posh shakers. This is called black tie shaker beads, and I wanted to give it a try because, well, why not, right? It would be a fun little shaker. So that's what we have planned for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Oh, and also, let me bring this over real quick. Sorry, I also forgot this. We're going to be using Spellbinder's mirrored arch labels for the background. And then for the sentiment, I have a couple different options. I'm not quite sure which one we're going to do. I might pull from Season's Greetings and do Merry Christmas, or this is from Waffle Flower called Family Christmas Sentiments, Matching Stamps and Dies. And so you have a bunch of other options too. So I'll pull from one of those, just kind of depends on how things are looking, and we're gonna, you know, how we're gonna proceed from there. Of course, we have acetate that I have to the side as well. The green I'm going to pull or put to the side because that's going to be for our background. We're going to do a white card base. Okay, so pulling that out. Oops, that's my mouse that I just knocked over. So let's see here. I'm going to cut out this one and this one. In fact, I don't need this whole thing. I probably could have found a smaller piece in my little scrap bin for Concord and Ninth, but yeah, and you guys know me, I like to use my paper trimmer to have straight edges. It's like, who's with me on that one? I'm a little OCD when it comes to that. If I have the time, if I'm trying to hurry, no, I don't do that. So that's going to be for the beak and the feet. And then for just some white plain cardstock, we're going to cut out the front of the body. So let me run that through my machine real quick. And I'm going to pull that out. Don't think we need that anymore. In fact, let me go ahead. Got these trays from I got these trays, the nested trays that fit underneath your glass mat, and they're from the Glassbore Studio. I just wish they're not as off-white as they are. They're a little bit too they're not exactly white, so I'm a little bummed by that. But anyway, so I just put my little dies to the side once I'm done with it. And then I could always have another tray on the other side to put my pieces, but I don't think I'm going to need that many pieces, so I should be good to go. Okay, so then there's that. There's this and that. Okay. And then this is going to go in my scrap bin. All right, perfect. So then we have, I'm gonna have to, this has obviously, I was apparently in a hurry when I went ahead and cut that, so it's not a nice even cut. If I could just, so then I'm gonna go ahead and get this lined up. Okay, so this is the part that's gonna cut the outline of the body, and then this part, by doing this, in fact, I'm gonna have to cut this one more time, so I'm gonna have to get another piece, because this part's gonna cut, this is gonna allow this to go, to cut the outline of it to help create the shaker. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Oops, knocking things over. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a moment. So I am just going to tape this because I want to make sure that this is all nice and centered. Since I've cut into this die, or this magnetic plate here so many times, I have to tape it now because the magnet is not as strong. In fact, if you have the impress machine, you're actually not supposed to cut into the magnetic sheet or plate or whatever it's called. You're supposed to cut into the mat, but I found that so weird. How are you supposed to get that aligned? Like, it just, I don't know, that was kind of weird. Okay, so there's this. Like, that can go in the trash. Well, I guess I can keep that. Okay, so then I don't think I need this piece. I'm gonna just move it to the side just in case. And then, so there's that. There's our little guy. All right, so cute. And then I'm gonna bring in my acetate here. I'm going to put my little penguin dude on there. I'm not going to have this part go with this because I don't want it to cut just the outline. And then I'm also going to cut this again in black with just this. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Okay, I have everything all cut out and ready to be assembled. It was fairly easy. And let's go ahead and glue the acetate. Now I did have to trim out the acetate after cutting it. Let me move my phone off camera here. So if anyone knows with the Impress or the Big Shot, Sizzix Big Shot, what sandwich do you guys use to help cut out acetate? I feel like no matter what machine I use, because I also have another one, I cannot get it to cut out. I've added, I have a metal shim with the Impress, and that's always with that, despite if it's acetate or not. And then I also added a piece of cardstock. I think it was like 80 pound or something like that. And oh shoot, no. Don't want it to move around. You don't want this to move around because then you're going to get glue like I have right there. So be careful with that. But anyways, yeah, I can never get it trimmed out the way I need it to, or never get it die cut out. I always have to trim it with my scissors. Okay, so I'm going to put down my my glass block. Oh my goodness, Rachel, you can talk. And then while we do that, there's not much I can do other than getting out some foam. I think what I'll do is I'm actually going to go ahead and, let's see here, I'm going to trim out a few more of these. I'm going to go ahead and trim out another outline, a few of them actually, to make this a little thicker, because it's either that or I have to add foam tape, and I don't have thin enough foam tape for that, I don't think. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and I'll glue it all together. Finally got all of those pieces. Now I did use regular black cardstock just so that way it's a solid black around the perimeter of the penguin. However, I did not use the same shimmer because I did not want to use that up. I would rather just use a thick black cardstock. So there is a little bit of a dimension, a little bit of thickness that for those beads to shake around, which I think is going to be sufficient. Hopefully it's going to be sufficient enough. Okay, so there's that. And then I am going to add some, let me use my reverse tweezers. There we go. And then I am going to get this. I don't know why I have to turn it. Let me get my tweezers going the right way so I can turn that. Get these little shavings from the black cardstock. It is a really thick black cardstock, and I need to get a new plates for my Impress so it's not cutting really well. Okay, so there's that. Just moving that into place, getting that nice and straight. And then I'm just using my fingers to push down on that. Okay. There we go. Yo, sorry, my phone is going off. I don't know if you guys can hear it vibrate. I've gone all day, no text messages. The second I start recording, starts going off. Okay, I'm just trimming out. I feel like I keep on seeing a little bit of acetate that I did not trim really well. So I'm just trimming it with my detail scissors that I got from scrapbook.com. I think they were like on sale, and I was like, yeah, I'll give them a try. And I'll tell you what, they're really tiny, but they're super pointy, and oh, they're nice. Very, very nice for details. Okay. Now these you can make little cards with. Yeah, I actually, let me see here, I threw it away. I was going to do a pink one, and I decided, and first of all, you could use this as a bunny, really, you could. So I might end up doing another card off camera with this one, because this originally was going to be here, and I'm like, nah, I'm not like it. Let's just do a traditional penguin. So and I think I will make another one that's not a shaker with these reverse ones. So I have 3 of them, so I might just do one's that shimmer, and then the other ones are solid. But I think I might go ahead and make another card. That would be super cute. Okay. Or you could just do one just like that, right? Keep it less dimensional. So why not? I love penguins. So obviously you guys found out the story. Okay. So let's get the little feeties. That's what we call them at my house. In fact, my husband is so funny. He had a dog that he brought into our marriage, and I brought, or into our relationship, and so did I. We both had our dogs prior to meeting each other, and so I don't even know how it got brought up, but he was like, "Let me see your PDs," to his dog. Her name was Gracie. She had passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately, but she ended up having cancer. But I was like, "What are you talking about? PDs?" And so now it just kind of grew on me. In fact, at first I didn't really care for it, but now I kind of think that's like super adorable. So now we call them PDs. So our daughter, we're like, "Let's see your little PDs," but she knows that they're called feet, right? We make sure that she knows that, so don't worry. We know to make sure that we say that correctly with her. But anyways, it's kind of cute. I don't even know how he came up with that, PDs. Oh my goodness. Okie dokie. Then I'm going to figure out, let's see here. I think it goes this way, right? Yep. Okay. I think. Yeah, that looks good. Just a little. I love this orange. I wish, now I know Spellbinders has chiffon, but it's a little bit too light for this, and I wish that Spellbinders would have this color of cardstock in their collection, because I think like this would be absolute perfection. But just because I like the texture of Spellbinders a little bit better. But overall, I can't complain. Concord and Ninth is really good too. Just all personal preference, no right or wrong answer. All right, then I'm going to get these into place so I have a rough estimate where they go. Penguins are really coming together. It's super adorbs. Okay, let's get this. Making sure I was recording. I was just watching a YouTube crafter, and she was making a card, and she said that she crafted for like 45 minutes and realized that she never turned her camera back on. And I feel like we as all content creators might have gone through that at least once in our time of crafting. And that's like our worst nightmare, especially when a card or a craft turns out really nice and you're just like, oh man, and you don't want to do it again because you just don't. It's like you've already done it, you're kind of like over it. So yeah, that's no fun. Nope, move back over. Okay, now that part's done. Bringing our little tuxedo black tie shaker. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna flip this little guy over, right? And then, okay. There we go. And then we're going to hopefully not spill this. I should see if, ooh, this might be, ooh, one's missing. This might not be, I honestly am concerned that this is not going to be thick enough Oof. You know what, guys? I'll have to be right back. I'm going to have to layer this up more because, well, here, let me do something kind of crazy. Gosh, I hope I don't spill this everywhere. This would stink if I spill this everywhere. Oh, I'm going to spill this everywhere. Okay, you know what? I don't, because I can still hear it shaking, so we're good. We're good. I was worried that that was not going to be thick enough, that I would need another one. Maybe if I had more time. I don't have a lot of time right now because I gotta get my daughter off the bus. But I would probably maybe add another layer. Okay, I think that should be enough. I'm gonna have these beads everywhere. Well, I can hear them going. I just dropped a few. Let me... Okay, that should be good. I don't want to use up the whole bag. Keep it for next year. Okay, so then let's go ahead and get some glue. Carefully not to move this around too much because obviously you don't want these tiny little beads going everywhere. But yeah, I definitely want to check around craft stores because I like the idea. At first I wasn't a big fan of these beads for shaker, but I will tell you what, I'm liking it. And this is the first time I ever bought these type of shaker beads, so I gotta see if like any craft stores sell these tiny beads. I'm sure they do, because I might want to try to get a little bit cheaper than these, because I think they were like $4. That's a little expensive for that, but still affordable. Oh, they're so cute. Okay, so it's a little stuck in some areas, but I'm not mad about it. Mainly because you know, it just adds part of the decor. So yes, if you were to do this with cardstock, and I use 110-pound cardstock for the black cardstock that I use to layer it up. So I would recommend doing not 100, I would do like 4 or 5 layers. But this shakes around pretty good. It's just getting stuck in those areas. Oh, something disappeared. That is telling me I did not have that glued down really good. Okay, so I am doing a little pivot here. I'm going to end up using Pretty Pink Posh holiday stamps, and they're called Sentiment Strips Christmas. And so because of that, I'm going to go ahead and just glue this on directly. I went ahead and added some foam tape. I have a bunch of scraps left over from making my foam panels, so I just cut them to fit this. And I am going to just put that front and center of, there we go, perfect. Then I'm going to add some glue to the back of my shaker card. Okay, and let's just put that centered as well. It's actually kind of perfect. And then I'm going to put my glass block on there to add weight because that is pretty thick. And I'm going to put that on there. So while that's being held down, I'm going to rotate that real quick. Grab a sentiment strip, and I don't want something too long because I don't want it to overwhelm my penguin. In fact, I think I might do a green instead of a white background. Okay, I am pivoting again, and I'm not going to use the green. I'm going to use a pink. I think that would be super pretty. And do it here. I'm going to use my Versify Nocturne ink. Oh shoot. Oh no. And I got some on me. Oopsie. Alright. I gotta get that cleaned up. Perfect. All right, let me get this cleaned up and then I will die cut this out and then we can finish up our card. Okay, went ahead and did that. Look how sweet that is. Now this is the chiffon. This is like the lightest of their orange peach, or their orange color. And so I just thought that was reading too pink for me for this card, so that's why. And the next one I think is this one, so it's a little bit in the spellbinders that I was discussing earlier. I'm going to add some less thicker foam tape for the back, just because I don't want this to be too overwhelming with dimension. There's already quite a bit of dimension in the card in general, and let's put that right straight in the middle here. There we go. Perfect. Now we got to add some sequins to give it a little bling. Okay. Just got it all done. This card was so much fun, and now y'all know the history behind the word, or the penguin, for my channel. This is the first time I've ever said that. And here it is. Look how sweet this card is. This is so much fun. Oh my goodness. I love it. Alright, well, isn't that so sweet? I was going to create cards with this, but I just don't have the time now. But I just thought I'd give you a little, I don't have the time to make this, unfortunately, but if I do, I will post it to my Instagram, so be sure to follow me on Instagram. It is, the link is in my description box on all my videos. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys all in the next card or craft video. Bye.